that China follows quite keenly, the US-India relationship and their strategy for the Indo-Pacific. In fact, at some stage, China had complained that the Quad, Australia, India, Japan, and the US, was a mechanism for basically containing China. And the four countries had in fact pulled back for a time from the Quad, but which has now been resurrected. And all the four countries are looking back to imbue for a time from the Quad, but which has now been resurrected. And all the four countries are looking back to imbue for a time from the Quad, but which has now been resurrected. Where all the four countries are looking back to imbue for a time from the Quad, which has now been resurrected. Where all the four countries are looking back to imbue for a time that we can have a large developing country which is socially realistic, follow the path of democracy and pursue development in a democratic way. I think that has always been something which America has underlined. They think that there are alternative approaches to government, and on one side you have the democratic liberal countries who basically want to govern with the consent of those governed, and on the other side you have the authoritarian model which you did have earlier in the Soviet Union or even in China, where there is just one single party and no choice specifically in terms of political pluralism. But what we've seen in recent years is that after the global financial crisis and the crisis of capitalism as it was perceived in the West, the attractiveness of the authoritarian model has been growing. So I think it's important for both India and the US to reassess the viability, if you will, of the democratic model, that it is possible for a country to be democratic and to develop, and that democracy is not necessarily a weakness for economic progress. I think that's important. It's interesting that even someone like President Nixon, who was known to be to tilt towards Pakistan in 1971, after he stepped down as president, wrote his autobiography. In his autobiography, he wrote that big rivalry or competition of the future is going to be between India and China. And in that process, I hope that America will choose democratic president. So even somebody like Nixon, who tilted towards India in 1979 on this question after he had stepped down and looking to the future, felt that India as a democratic alternative is something which America bilateral engagement. India, Japan, working together in Asia Pacific corridor, for example, some of them are
normative alternative as well as an operational alternative. I think there is some element of congruence emerging there among various stakeholders, and hopefully India and the US will take this initiative forward and will articulate something which is, I think, the need of the hour, because BRI has just become very, very unilateral initiative and the only game in town. So we need multiple games out there, which perhaps the smaller states in the region and beyond can articulate their own preferences for varying alternatives.
Yes, for our viewers who joining us, ladies, for the listeners we're getting for you from Agra. The city of Lam has been all decked up, and we have receded motorcade of President Trump on its way to Taj Mahal. And the second leg, this is the second leg of the visit of President Trump to India. Earlier we saw him address a huge crowd at Motera Stadium in Ahmedabad, and here we have President Trump in Agra along with the First Lady, his daughter and his son-in-law to visit Taj Mahal. Now, as
they have rolled into the Taj Mahal complex, so pretty soon you'll get those pictures as well. That will be quite memorable for the first family, so to speak, and that's what it's all about. So the two flags together being upheld by the future generations as well, because a lot of the focus of both the leadership has been on the future generations. They talk a lot about how India and America, the friendship is for the future, not just of the two countries, but for the betterment of the entire world. At the same time, you have these resplendent cultural displays as well. The colors of India, its traditions, its craft, its skill, its art, everything has been on display right from the moment President Trump and the First Lady and the First Family, if you expand it further, set foot on Indian soil, and that was in Ahmedabad. So this is the second leg of the journey. We've already seen the leg in Ahmedabad there with the iconic Motera Stadium being witnessed to an
which are quite technical, which are quite straightforward, official. But here he was actually making an effort to connect with the larger Indian audience that was present in the stadium, and also I think is speaking to the larger Indians, outside the stadium, and making a case that America and Mr. Trump remain very, very important friends of India. So clearly, I think there is an understanding there about India's role there. And I think that perhaps that articulation is important, because that gives you a sense of where Mr. Trump is coming from and how he views the role of India and how he views Indo-US relationship. both personally and at a more impersonal level, at a national level, at a bilateral level, which I think you got that from the speech. So clearly, whatever happens tomorrow, he has set the tone for the visit by being very warm and by being very outward in his approach towards India. And in Indians, and I think making a case that Indo-US relationship is driven not simply from top down but also from bottom up, where people to people ties, soft power both remain very, very important constituents in the shaping of this relationship.
All right, let's take this thought forward, Mr. Pinaki, when the President time and again talked of how true friend is what he sees in India and how the two countries have come together. We've talked of how he's tried to make a connect during his address at Motera Stadium, and time and again Prime Minister has also talked of how important US is for India. When these two leaders sit for business tomorrow, when these two leaders, the camaraderie, the bond, Homi, how does that come across to the other countries? What do other countries look at when these two US and India sit for talks tomorrow?
Well, firstly, this public event that we have witnessed today, and the kind of speech President Trump made, and the fact that the two leaders get along so well, and there's a huge amount of bonhomie, I think sends a signal across the world in many ways. That one signal is that India and the USA under these two leaders are trying to get closer to each other. Even closer, I would say, even closer. So that is one signal that goes out, and that signal will be, I think, most deeply absorbed by two of our neighbors, China and Pakistan. But that doesn't mean that this automatically translates into deliverables, as we say. That it does not mean that when they sit down and talk tomorrow, it does not mean that Trump will give concessions or Prime Minister Modi will give away concessions that goes against their natural sort of natural propensity to protect their individual national interest. So I think these are signals that yes, we want to do business, yes, we are friends, and yes, we have a lot of things in common, and we will work together to sort of bring to fruition many of the deals that are on the table. This is the kind of messaging that is happening from this kind of an event.
All right, Harsh, if I may bring you in now. You've talked of how the visit could be perceived by China. The President also made a veiled mention of China during his address. So we know how US is wary of an expansionist, of an aggressive China in the Indo-Pacific. So can this be said that we, like India, could present, say, a trump card to Donald Trump against China in the region?
Well, I think India, the fact that India as a democracy exists, and not only exists but also is now a very, very important economic, political and diplomatic actor on the global stage, is in itself a very important message to China and to Chinese model, as you were earlier talking about, and that you can have democracy and high rates of growth and economic power at the same time. So clearly something that China has been articulating for long, that their model is the best model available, and that you look at democracies, then they do not work, and if you look at a democracy like India, there are so many problems there. I think India stands as a strong rebuke to that sentiment, and there is a sense perhaps that America and India potentially together can work and create a stable balance of power in a region where China's rise has created so much turbulence, and China's challenge to the global order becomes that much more acute. So as we work towards a situation where like-minded countries are working together, India and China, India and America both are working, have a similar convergence, have a similar outlook on how the Indo-Pacific region needs to evolve and what needs to be done to maintain that stability. And that brings, I think, the two countries automatically together, unlike in some other cases where there is an attempt to create artificial relationships. This is a relationship that exists sui generis in some ways. The maritime relationship, the expansive trade and economic and political relationship is a tribute to the fact that a lot has changed in the Indo-Pacific architecture, but India and the US stand as two bookends in that that larger maritime space.
All right, so here we await President Trump. He has already entered the Taj Mahal complex in Agra, the city of love, and this is the second leg of his visit. Earlier we saw him address the huge crowd at Motera Stadium. Our correspondent Vishal Baristo is joining us. Vishal, we are showing colorful, beautiful visuals to our viewers where we see performances there, Yes.
Very good evening to you, Preeti. As you can see, the folk dancers, they are especially been arranged here and they represent the bridge culture of Uttar Pradesh. Now, bridge is an area that extends from Bharatpur in Rajasthan to Mathura in UP and also includes Agra, the place where we have Taj Mahal, one of the 7 wonders of the world. And there you see the folk dancers on both sides of the road as President Trump's carcade is moving towards the Taj Mahal. You can see the cutout of Donald Trump and also along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. You can see dancers dancing, welcoming him. Uttar Pradesh has also showcased its might of tourism. Why you should come to Uttar Pradesh, not only because of Taj Mahal but because of the religious value. It is the land of Lord Krishna, it is the land of Lord Rama, and it is also the land of the holy rivers of Ganga and Yamuna, and that is what today Agra is trying to showcase before President Trump, who's been accompanied by his wife Melania Trump, his daughter Ivanka, and his son-in-law. And they all 4 would be going to visit the Taj Mahal. It is going to be a historic moment. After Bill Clinton, President Trump is going to be the 3rd president of the United States to visit Taj Mahal. Last time it was President Obama, but at the very last minute he had to take his flight to Saudi Arabia and he missed his visit to Taj Mahal. So after 1959, when Eisenhower was there, it was Bill Clinton and now President Donald Trump. And there you see Agra all decked up, all prepared, all
yes, we
decorated.
can see the Taj in occupying the entire frame of the screen right now, Vishal, and it's looking magnificent, bathed in that sunlight. That is, of course, of setting sun, gradually setting sun, and that's it seems like a perfect time of the day to be visiting the entire complex. The light would be perfect.
Well, absolutely, Gautam, and very good evening to you. Yes, there you see the beautiful, beautiful Taj Mahal, the epitome of love, and Taj Mahal is celebrating its 368th anniversary, and this is the first time that this has been facelifted with the mud cap. Multani mitti has been used to beautify Taj Mahal, to cleanse this tomb and also to bring out its old glory. And let me tell you, the Taj Mahotsav is also on, Gautam, and we have been talking to people and they are very much excited, not only because of the Taj Mahotsav but because of Donald Trump, who's been here, and some of them they've extended their stay. So it's definitely a very good opportunity for the people, for the tourists, and especially for Agra, because Agra has had a new life, I would say, because whole Agra came to life. They all came up, they started cleaning their houses, their streets, and not only the municipal corporation, but also the government and also the local Agraites, I would say, who came out in large numbers to beautify their city for this historic moment. And let me tell you that today the mayor of Agra would be presenting key of made in silver of Agra to President Donald Trump. There you see the flags, tricolor proudly flying in the air along with the flag of United States of America, and as one of the banners read that Agra welcomes its best friend, and the oldest democracy meeting the largest democracy of the world. It's quite a scene here, and that is what I wonder what would our neighbors be thinking, because it's a huge opportunity for India to tell the world that it stands along with whom. The might of the world has come out to, has reached to Prime Minister Modi, and they have shaken hands. It was a very warm welcome today. We saw in Agra how They embrace each other. And today here in Agra, it was Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. There you can see Taj Mahal, and shortly the carcage of President Donald Trump would be reaching there, and with the battery cars, they would be taken to the tomb. So it's going to be a beautiful sight. And let me tell you that 5 makeup artists who are part of the POTUS, the President of the United States team, they are already also allowed, would be accompanying the President to give the final touches as far as the hairstyling is and the dress is concerned, because that momentous picture, that historic picture that they would be having there at the backdrop of the Taj Mahal is going to be there with them forever. So it's going to be a very, very special moment for the Trump and also for his daughter and his son-in-law.
Yes, indeed, Vishal. We can see the Taj in its full glory. Not only Taj, but I must say the entire city of love has been is looking indeed very pretty, very beautiful. The way we saw the billboards welcoming the president there and his family in Agra. Let us know more about what sort of excitement, reactions did you get from the people there. Of course, he will be the 3rd president, US president visiting the city, and people there will have that sense of pride, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. And there you see President Donald Trump is about to reach the Taj Mahal. He's there at the entrance of Taj Mahal. We could see picture of the Trump couple hand in hand with his Melania, wife Melania, looking very beautiful in the white dress. President Donald Trump in the black suit and a yellow tie. And as they walk slowly towards the tomb, let me tell you that the whole city was very much excited, because I've been here for the last 2 days. And people, they have been interestingly taking selfies at the cutout of President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And that was very interesting, as you see that India welcomes President Donald Trump, and it was a very strange thing to find people coming out along with their families, mother, father, child, taking selfies, taking photos along with a cutout. So it was a huge opportunity for this city of love, which has been painted in the colors of friendship. The flag of America, United States of America, along with the tricolor, they both fly together, and the streets have been painted in the colors of friendship along with the flag. And there you see President Donald Trump as he walks inside the entrance gate and is taking a walk, and as shortly he would be going there to see the Taj Mahal. He's already inside the tomb at the entrance, as you can see there, President Donald Trump in black suit and his wife giving the photographers the opportunity they've been waiting for, and he's been very kind to the photographers as he poses for them, because Donald Trump is known for his style across the world, and that is why he is taking every possible step to utilize this opportunity, because Taj Mahal is one of the wonders of the world. And
yes, indeed, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Vishal, at present, our correspondent Abhishek Martin is also joining us from there. Abhishek, here we see President Trump and the First Lady at Taj Mahal, and indeed, Vishal told us about the excitement of the people there, and also how the city has been decked up. We saw him. We saw a huge crowd welcome him at the Butera Stadium, and then we have President Trump now at the City of Love, the Taj Mahal, which is synonymous with love. So when we talk of the visit of President Trump, the jam-packed 36-hour visit, I'm sure this first day is, this is the best this day could offer to President Trump in India.
They've just been at the entrance of the Taj Mahal complex proper, and there have been flashbulbs that have been going off incessantly, and very patient, very unrushed this visit to Taj.
अभी चल रही है तुम्हारी कवरेज है
There you are seeing US President Donald Trump and First Lady of the United States of America, Melania Trump, at the Taj Mahal complex, and they just signed the visitors book. This is the Trump's tryst with the City of Love, with the Monument of Love, with the 17th century monument built over a period of nearly 20 years by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his wife after her death in 1631. It's been refurbished to welcome US President Donald Trump and the First Lady. Agra got a makeover, and we also saw how the workers, masons, they worked 24/7 nearly to refurbish this monument of love, the famed 17th century mausoleum. The World Heritage Site of Agra is now welcoming US President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. This is going to be a spectacle for keeps. This is going to go down in history, as US President Donald Trump is only the third US president after Dwight Eisenhower came in 1959, and then Bill Clinton came along with Chelsea Clinton in 2000 to Agra, and both of them had different experiences. We'll talk about that as well. But right now our correspondent Abhishek Mahajan is joining us on the phone line. Abhishek, what a moment this is, a sight to behold, isn't it?
Trump along with his family is having a wonderful time here, and many photo sessions have been planned, and one has already been done in front of Herald. We call it where the entire beauty, the entire Taj Mahal can be witnessed. And they are working together, Melania Trump and Donald Trump, with the delegations to the park, and they'll have another photo session at the China bench, and they can't afford to miss that. So the movement, the wait has actually ended, and everyone was waiting for Donald Trump with bated breath, and he has finally arrived. The tryst at the city, the Agra, will only be for 2 hours, but it will definitely have a strong and vital impact, a very positive effect. If I may say that on the tourism too, we know Donald Trump has been very active on social media. He has been very vocal also. He enthralled the crowd, and US media has also been here in numbers covering the visit. So cultural programs also happened at the airport, and now the turn of the city. folk dances have been planned. The Braj culture has been highlighted. And the city, Munmun, let me tell you, the city looks so beautiful. We have been sending the visuals continuously, and the walls have been painted so nicely, portraying the Indian culture. Thematic graffitis, if I may say that. And I was talking to the school children actually who made it happen. They made the pictures of Lord Ganesha, Lord Hanumana, to depict the Indian culture. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm sure they'll have a memorable trip to the Agra city here.
Absolutely, Abhishek. We've seen in the past how the then US President in 1959, Dwight Eisenhower, came here. He was moved around in an open golf cart or an open car of sorts. And then we saw how Bill Clinton was there. He even said that this is perhaps a ghost city because of the security restrictions. Perhaps there was no one in the streets then. But this is going to be an altogether different experience. And the Indian government organizers also have made it a point to welcome dignitaries in a particular manner. And Taj Mahal tends to figure very prominently in the itinerary of the foreign dignitaries who visit India, isn't it?
Absolutely, you're bang on, Munmun, and everything was micro-planned, and we were here waiting. We were restricted. Media also are not allowed to go outside a particular point, and we are standing at a place 1 kilometer away from the Taj Mahal, and there is no one here. All this job is generally a very crowded place, but there is no one here, and it was a threefold security basically. The innermost security was of U.S. Security agencies and U.S. Secret Services, I should say, and then the UP police, and then the paramilitary force. And the roads have Munmun have also been widened, and ornate flower pots placed on the dividers to give the a different look, a different makeover of sorts. A rusty old bridge of the colonial era was being spray painted. Metallic silver grey on Friday evening we saw. Yes, and the bridge was also, and the pavement encroachments, they were also removed, and electric poles installed with bright color LED lights too. So we can say, like I said, Munmun, it will definitely have a positive impact on the tourism. A lot of people will come here. They have been coming. A lot of people we can see in the near future they'll come here. And I was actually speaking to one of the tourists, and he had in fact extended his stay just to have a glimpse of Donald Trump, which is amazing. He had come from Denmark, and there was another tourist from Israel. He actually had played a song especially made for Donald Trump. So it's amazing, you know. I mean, not only here, and people were very excited to just have a glimpse of Donald Trump. And I'm sure, as we can see in the pictures, Donald Trump, along with his wife Melania Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, they're having a wonderful time here. And like you mentioned, Munmun, in 1959, Eisenhower, the U.S. president, had come here. After that, Bill Clinton had come in the year 2000. Barack Obama had to come, but he couldn't come because of some reasons. And now it's U.S. president. So it's amazing scenes we are witnessing here, and he is having a wonderful time here.
Absolutely, Abhishek. On and off, we are showing our viewers visuals of the front side of the Taj Mahal, where the Trumps will be going next. Do we expect them to sit on the bench like we've seen in the past several foreign dignitaries do for a famous photo opportunity that will be referred for all times to come?
Absolutely, Munmun. 4-5 spots have been planned actually, and they'll definitely go to the iconic bench that we call it, the Dinah bench. And it's amazing, you know, and the guide who has been telling them the history of the iconic Taj Mahal, the monument of love, he has also, let me tell you, he has also been chosen. A lot of interviews, a lot of candidates for their interviews were conducted, and he has been the chosen one. So, like I was mentioning, that everything has been micro-planned. The security was beefed up in the morning itself. Last minute preparations were going on, and no one is here. I mean, like I mentioned, it is very crowded generally here. Taj Mahotsav, like Vishal mentioned, it has also been going on, and it's not taking place today.
And Abhishek, that famous moment is already here. This is going to be captured for posterity. The two sides, the two leaders, in fact, standing in front of the Taj Mahal. and perhaps they'll be seated on the bench soon, and you said the Diana bench is how it is popularly known as. So this is a moment for the shutterbugs, isn't it?
Absolutely, Munmun. Taj Mahal is actually so special because of its enormous beauty, we all know, and the UNESCO World Heritage Site is also one of the 7 wonders of the world because of its immense beauty. And the symbol of love was made by Emperor Shah Jahan in the loving memory of his wife and the most loved queen, Begum Mumtaz Mahal. And India's most famous architectural wonder, basically in a land where magnificent temples and edifices abound to remind visitors about the rich civilization of a country that is slowly but surely lifting itself into an industrialized society. And like you mentioned, very soon I think we'll have a photo session of Donald Trump and Melania Trump on that iconic Diana bench. And we are also told that his daughter Ivanka Trump, along with her husband Jared Kushner, they'll also have a photo session on the same iconic bench. And then they will go inside. They'll spend around half an hour there. The guide will tell them about the graves of Mumtaz and Shah Jahan. And like Vishal also mentioned, the graves have been, it has given a clay pack treatment. The scrubbing has been done, and that has been done after 368 years, if I'm not wrong. This amazing scenes here, Munmun, and I don't know, I mean, we are a little unlucky that we are not able to enter the Taj Mahal inside, but it's a moment to behold. It's a fantastic moment, and he'll cherish it for his lifetime.
Indeed. Abhishek, do stay on if you will. I'm now joined by another of my colleagues, Vishal Barrister, also in Agra as we speak. These are live visuals coming to you from Taj Mahal, where we've just seen President Trump and First Lady Melania pose for the photographers outside the Monument of Love in the city of Agra.